Oh, continue. I was about to just click from the beginning. No, I'm fine with where I am right now in the novel. I don't feel like just restarting for no reason. Oh, Volcanic's first comment, I see. So, I just paused the game last time at the beginning of what looked like a new chapter. Protagonist is speaking right now. In particular, when you're in a profession like mine, your holidays tend to be irregular and come with many restrictions on how you can spend them. It's hard to make plans ahead of time, and when you do, they'll be spoiled as often as not. As a result, I tend to use my free days to catch up on sleep, get an extra exercise, and read books. Things that I can do without the need for any advanced planning or preparation. The major side effect is that I've never been able to form much in the way of a hobby or interest to enliven my usual routine. My schedule may have changed once I entered this school, but my mildly pathetic recreational habits remain much the same. Do I commentate pretty much every line? Well, I don't read every single line in the visual novel. I'm getting a lot of them. And here we have a rare specimen, the dullest human being alive. I'm working through a calisthenics routine in the dorm lobby. Amane is providing helpful commentary. Existence is unendurably painful. And yet I can do nothing but go on living. Which is why these streams tend to never go on for that much longer than an hour at a time. Look, the stage whispers and dramatic sighs are starting to get on my nerves. How about you just come over here to tell me off to my face? Seriously, you're so lame. I think I'm gonna puke. For real. I take it back. Do me a favor and stick to sniping behind my back. This is more infuriating than I expected. Seriously, do you really have nothing else to do? I think I can hold my stomach down, but watching this is pretty painful. Amane squats down next to me as she speaks, her face full of pity. Give me a break here. It's better than sitting around doing nothing at all, don't you think? Well, I guess, but it's Saturday. You only got one a week. Can't you come up with any other way to spend your free time? This woman can be such a pain in the ass at times. Bringing my calisthenics to a halt for the moment, I stand up and turn to face Amane. Alright then, as you're clearly a professional woman of leisure, Miss Amane, please teach me exactly how to make delightful use of my Saturdays. I'm all ears. What? Very simple question, Amane. How do you spend your own free time? Well, Rolling around the man's bedsheets. Look, it ain't hard. He just wants the foremost expert on living every moment to the fullest. Weekend adventure supreme, Suamane, to grace him with her thoughts on how to enjoy a day of delightful leisure. Not you two. What's with that cheat imitation anyway? Adventure. Defloration. Ah, her flower's in full bloom. Okay, I've never seen Makina make this face before. That's a new one. Would it be okay for me to karate chop her in the nose at this point? Don't ask me. So, how do you spend your weekends, Amane? Are we still talking about that? Since you go around calling other people dull human beings, I'm sure you have some really interesting hobbies yourself, right? Spit it out. I'm sure they're perfect. Probably got a few cover articles in Adult Leisure magazine by now. Come on, lay it on us. Makina, you're going to pay for this later. My hobbies are, cleaning, laundry, and cooking, I guess? I'm afraid you've made a serious mistake here, my friend. Please allow me to explain in detail. Sorry. Okay, yes, I know. I know, so please just stop it. The things you just listed are not what we call hobbies. Please, say no more. Firmly maintaining my grip on Amane as she squirms around violently. I stare into her eyes, blast her on a fake smile, and deliver a blow of truth. Those are chores. Makana trots over to Amane's side and gives her back a few commiserating thumps. Don't take it so hard, kid. But Amane's the older one. I bet you'll find something worth living for one of these days. So for now, you just hang in there and be the very best housewife you can be, alright? That karate chopper is getting more tempting by the second. Well, you're the one raising the girl. Discipline her as you see fit. Anyway, with this level of instruction, it doesn't seem likely I'm going to find myself a hobby worth being proud of anytime soon. What are you all squawking about out here? Thanks so much for waking me up at the crack of dawn. Michiru arrives on the scene. She's obviously been awake for several hours already. Probably thought our noise was a good excuse to be nebby. By the way, nebby would be Kansai slang for someone with a desperate need to stick their nose into other people's conversations. I've been picking up a bit of the stuff from Amane lately. We were busy mocking Yuji for being a dull human being. The guy has no hobbies whatsoever. Hobbies? I don't have anything particularly worthwhile to occupy my leisure time, which they decide to pester me about. True, you don't seem like you have many interests. I kind of picture you locking yourself in your room, then doing push-ups and arm stands on weekend, using a single thumb. I understand what she means, but at that point, wouldn't it technically be a finger stand rather than an arm stand? Chiru's got a hobby though, touching herself. Hey! What the heck are you saying? Well, when it comes to stuff I can picture Chiru doing on a daily basis, that's pretty much the only thing that comes to mind. You don't know me. Of course I don't do that every single day. Not everyone in this place is a sex-crazed monkey, got it? So it's not a daily thing, huh? But I notice you don't deny doing it at all. Well, hey, look! Can we not have this discussion in front of Yuji? Personally, I'm not ashamed to admit the truth. Just yesterday, I started thinking about Yuji, and... Stop that sentence right now. Also, that come hither voice is banned. Yuji, talk some sense into this girl. Sorry, but what exactly am I supposed to say here? Just tell her to stop talking about all this dirty stuff. This is messed up, right? So Chiru, how many times per week? Ever gotten off to Yuji? What sort of fantasy was it? Right, this sounds fun. Are we discussing Michiru-sama's self-lecturing habits? Michiru-sama, blowing up a structure of this size would require significant expertise, as well as access to fairly powerful explosives. I don't think it's a practical means of solving your problems, whatever they may be. Yes, thanks so much, I did know that! I really wish you would stop taking every figure of speech literally. I apologize, Michiru-sama. It seemed like something I might really think of. Try to keep it down, will you? Well, since I've come here, I guess my leisure time has been increasingly filled with this sort of boisterous, trivial chat. Even in that alone, I think I've gained something from entering this school. By the way, where's Sakaki? I don't think she'd be sticking around for long, even if she did drop by. But I haven't seen our box cutter girl even once today. At a glance, her normal reserved seat doesn't seem to have been disturbed recently. She's out today. She left the dorm very early this morning, carrying a large tote bag. How early are we talking about? I only just got up myself, so a little after 5 AM perhaps? Oh, Extreme Wreck, welcome back. That's early any way you look at it. It's one thing if you're a compulsive morning runner like me, but most people aren't going to wake up at that hour on a Saturday. Great schools with the radio exercises or old men doing Tai Chi for their blood pressure? Maybe? Wonder what she had in that bag. Or what she might fill it with. Perhaps it was packed full of spare box cutters? That girl's a mystery as always. Didn't we already have this discussion, come to think of it? In this very place, if I remember correctly? We did, now that you mention it. Amane's words bring to mind the previous Sakaki incident. Set off after a round of scary stories in the lobby. That affair shed light on one aspect of Sakaki's true nature, but not a particularly large or revealing one, and I haven't gained any further insight since. Sakaki's private life is as mysterious as always. As soon as we get back from school, she tends to lock herself up in her room. On the rare occasions she does poke her head outside, she actively evades any real attempt at conversation. Now there's a question, how about Sakaki? What does she do with her free time? Touching herself, maybe? Can you please drop that subject already? What blasphemy! Underneath the great and beautiful cycle of existence, the journey from the cradle to the grave lies a foundation of sexual pleasure. The orgasm is life itself, you know? Oh, Machina, where do we go wrong? I feel your pain, but this is reality. Grin and bear it. Alright? Oh, you mean the couch cushion? I think I may have to start wearing less revealing clothes. So anyway, Yumiko's always got her nose in a book in the classroom, so wouldn't her hobby be reading? I don't believe so. Why not? More often than not, she's merely going through the motions. I've noticed her repeating the same few pages many times over. Sometimes she forgets to even turn the pages. It's not uncommon for her to be carrying the same book for quite some time. You're observant, Sachi. Bizarrely so. Well, Maki-chan requested as much, so I've spent some time watching Sakaki. Wait, is she talking about that time we investigated Sakaki? I thought her mission wrapped up after we succeeded in startling the girl, exposing her scaredy cat nature and generally making life miserable for her. But apparently Sachi was still on observation duty? Sachi's investigative skills are up here, you know? I'm sure they are, so try not to waste them on stupid crap, alright? At any rate, it seems like the bookworm theory is fairly dubious. Maybe she practices knife tricks? What, because of her box cutter thing? You're just being lazy now. Come on, what else is there? There are exactly 4 things I ever see that girl doing. Walking, sitting, reading, and slashing around with her box cutter. When you describe her that concisely, Sakaki really does seem quite the fearsome character, doesn't she? Whatever. She's a human just like the rest of us. Probably spends all her time hoarding porn. I think we were talking about leisure time and hobbies here, but somehow the topic of discussion seems to have shifted to Sakaki's sex life. How'd that happen exactly? Seems natural enough to me. When you got too much time on your hands and nothing to do with it. Playing with yourself is the first thing that comes to mind, right? Either way, I'll maintain a close eye on Sakaki and report any further development. That's not necessary. Really, truly not necessary. Very well, in that case, I'll discontinue the operation. The last thing we need is this nonsense leading to something troublesome and making things awkward in the dorm. If Sakaki wants to talk, she'll do so in her own time. It's not like I have any pressing need to know more about her, so I'm not going to pry when she wants to be left alone. Ah, crap. I've got a load of laundry I forgot to put in the dryer. Gotta go, guys. Amane patters off toward her room. Sachi and Makina rise off the couch and follow suit. But before I can get up myself, Michiru settles up with an inquiring look on her face. Why do you ask? Anyway, you want to know more about Yumiko? I can't imagine how that one would go. No, not particularly. I'm really stuck around because I've been planning to continue my calisthenics, but Michiru ignores my answer to her question, draws her own conclusions, and forges ahead with this one-sided excuse for a conversation. If you're that curious what she's getting up to, why don't you ambush her at the entrance one morning and ask? Not that I care. I have better things to do with my time. We're just complaining that you have nothing to do with your time, like all of 5 minutes ago? If you want to talk down to me, I'd suggest you find a less self-indulgent hobby first, Michiru. Oh my god! Will you drop that already? I'll end you! Is that true? Touching yourself really is your hobby? Well, life's a long and twisty road. Sometimes you have a phase like that. Play with yourself to your heart's content, my friend. Just try to work on thinking of something else to do with your life. In between sessions. Would a bolt of thunder be so kind as to fall from the sky and fry this girl's mouth shut? clawing furiously at her blonde head. Michiru shrieks a desperate entreaty to the heavens. To fry this girl's mouth shut. That doesn't happen now, does it? In the end, our discussion about Sakaki's private life was diverted into usual headache-inducing nonsense before we could reach any real conclusions. Not that it was a topic of especially great interest to me in the first place. A few sets of push-ups later, and I've mostly forgotten about the whole thing. Guess I'm up a bit early. Probably because yesterday had been a fairly light day, I found myself awake earlier than usual. It's not like that's a bad thing, though. More time for a little calisthenics before my run. Hobbies, huh? As I run through my stretches, I find myself thinking about the conversation I had here yesterday. I guess dull is in fact an objectively appropriate word for someone who uses all his free time to exercise. From a conventional viewpoint, training your body might well qualify as a hobby of sorts, but in my case, I'm maintaining a tool I need for my profession. Training is just a part of the job for me. So yes, I basically have no hobbies. I think my personality is mostly to blame. Nothing really tends to capture my interest that strongly, or for that long. On that point, I may have something in common with Sakaki. By all appearances, she keeps everything and everyone at arm's length, mainly because she's decidedly uninterested in learning more. Come to think of it, didn't they say Sakaki? With the sentence halfway out of my mouth, I sensed someone behind me and turned to face them. Sakaki standing by at the entrance, staring at me in surprise. There's a bulky tote bag lying at her feet. Stuffed full of various items, I catch a glimpse of thin wooden objects sticking out the top. You're early. For what? I mean, you woke up early, of course. At this point, the conversation from yesterday comes to mind again. The others mentioned Sakaki's habit of leaving the dorm early in the morning by herself. Apart from the large bag she always carries on those trips, no one has any clues as to what she's getting up to. Not that I'm particularly interested, but the flow of the conversation seems to call for a little light probing. You're up early yourself, Sakaki. Where are you off to? Sakaki purses her lips for a moment before she speaks. It seems to me that what I do is no one's business but my own. The sentence she finally fires off somehow manages to be simultaneously sharp and blunt. What we've got here, Sakaki, is a failure to communicate. What are you talking about? I asked where are you off to and you responded, what do I do is no one's business. That's the answer to a slightly different question. You're probably feeling self-conscious about whatever it is you're going off to do and ended up mishearing what I was asking. You have a very unpleasant habit of picking at people's words. Sadly, it's not really a habit. I was born this way. Anyways, please drop the subject. I don't want to talk about it. Alright, I won't ask you about this again. What? Sakaki's face fills with genuine confusion. She's clearly surprised by this ready concession to her demand. Alright, I'll be on my way. Yeah, see you later. Sorry to bother you. No, never. As Sakaki heads for the exit, I turn around and begin my calisthenics again. But as I'm sitting on the floor and beginning to stretch out my arms, I realize that I haven't heard her leave the building yet. What's up? You need something? It's nothing. Sakaki opens the door. In apparent irritation, and immediately leaves the dorm. Talk about fishy. What on earth could she be up to? I want to know what she's got in that bag. I still think it's spare weapons. What? Were you watching? You've all got too much time on your hands. Within seconds of Sakaki's exit, the other four emerged from their hiding places around the lobby. Don't tell me you actually went out of your way to wake up so early so you could watch her leave? You know, after that discussion yesterday, I kinda couldn't help myself. Seems everyone had similar thoughts. Get it together, Yushi. If you pushed a little there, Yumiko obviously would have spilled the beans. Sorry, I'm just not that interested. In the first place, if it was something Sakaki would feel comfortable talking about. I'm sure she would have responded differently to my casual question. That blunt refusal means she has her reasons for keeping her activities to herself. I'm not so irrepressibly curious as to pester on a sensitive topic, especially when she's not going to reveal anything anyway. That bag is the key. I bet she's got folding angel wings and weird glow sticks and a wig in there. Yumi-can's going out to cosplay in secret. I'm not particularly excited for the couches. I'm gonna be honest. Your grounds for this deduction? Well, she's such a boring, quiet character normally, you know? I'm sure she wants to let her hair down on the weekends, but she already wears it long, right? And it's a bright pink wig. Elementary. What do you think? Amane, if you'd be so kind as to shut her up now. Daddies who push all the discipline onto mommy tend not to have happy marriages, you know? What shall I do, Kazami-san? If you'd like to reinitiate the surveillance operation, I can get started right away. I don't think there's any reason to put your ninja skills to the test today. Come on, that's no fun. If you want to know that badly, Michiru, go tailor yourself. One-on-one. Send Michiru on a mission like that, and I think it'll come to bare steel within minutes. I believe this will end in tears and blood. I'm concerned for your safety, Michiru-sama, but I feel bound to respect the path you've chosen to walk. I'll strengthen my resolve. I didn't say a single friggin' thing about doing this! Don't strengthen your resolve until I tell you it needs strengthening, got it? It'll be okay, Chiro. You got lives to spare. You might cut you into 3 pieces or so, but within moments the segments will begin their new lives as Neo Michiru A, B, and C. Am I a planarian, Machina? Don't answer that. The answer is no. I am not a planarian. Look, I'd really like to exercise at some point if you don't mind. Yo. Later that same day, shortly after finishing my outdoor training, I happened to be doing some cool-down exercises in the dorm lobby just as Sakaki returns. She's holding her bag in the shadow cast by her own body, as if consciously trying to hide it from view. Sorry about this morning. Right. Sakaki offers a vague non-response, squirming awkwardly where she stands. Alright, I'll see you later. I turn away and restart my calisthenics. But Sakaki doesn't move a muscle. Sakaki? When I call out to her the second time, Sakaki flinches in surprise, then shoots me a fierce glare. It's nothing. Nothing at all. Just leave it be. Steve Stallone. Who's he? Probably someone else I'd be interested in, if Michiru's already one of my favorite Grisaia characters. I mean, Michiru is just so fun to have around, let me tell you. Clearly talking to herself rather than me, she stomps off in the direction of her room. Well, after Sakaki's vanished from view, I'm still staring after her. The girl might not have said much of anything to me just now, but it's obvious that she's strangely tense. I don't think I remember Cliffhanger, though. As I'm puzzling over the matter, a certain woman of unusual proportions appears out of nowhere. Kinda seemed like Sakaki wanted to talk there from what I saw. Oh yeah, I didn't get that feeling, personally. That's because you're fundamentally thick-headed, Yuji. Rather than sitting on the sofa, Mana drops herself cross-legged onto the ground. Drawing her face close to me as I exercise, as if to give me a whiff of her perfume, she continues. So what do you think? Got a little bit more interested in Sakaki-san? Sorry, exactly what in the conversation just now suggested that to you? That apathetic attitude of yours kinda seemed tactical, you know? Like you were trying to wait Sakaki-san out, frustrated at talking to you first. I don't know about you, but I don't approach my relationships with other people as if they were a fish I'm trying to catch. Oh, come on now, that's not me either. I'm all about the frontal attacks. Fits my personality much better, you know? True, full frontal certainly seems more plausible in your case. Sorry, I misjudged you. I don't think you even mean for it to happen half the time, Yuji. But you really know how to make people want to hit you. Sadly, I was born this way. I do wonder what's going on with Sakaki-san. Doesn't rejecting everyone around you get kind of lonely and painful? Well, I guess being alone is a less painful choice sometimes. And then it just cuts off to them going back to the classroom. Alright, well done for today. Stand. The weekend behind us, we're back in the classroom. As the day's lessons reach their conclusion, Sachi leads us in the formal bow that marks the end of every school day. The weekdays are nice and simple. Given a set schedule, I can coast peacefully through without having to worry about how I'm spending my time, or about being insulted over my lack of interests. I shoulder my bag and leave the classroom. After dropping my stuff off in my room, I find myself heading to the roof of the dormitory for no reason in particular. When I can't think of anything to do with myself, sometimes I'll search out places where I can be alone and look at the sky. I wouldn't say that I prefer solitude, but every once in a while, I'm seized with the need to get a break from the clamor of daily life, which has been very noisy indeed lately. As I swing the door slowly open, I realize there's someone already on the roof. The instant I set foot outside, she's staring at me with a slightly suspicious look on her face. You again? Sorry, but do we live in the same building? We're going to run into each other sometimes. I wasn't particularly accusing you of anything. Well, I remember the song about it. At least. So can I come up? You don't need my permission. Having obtained Sakaki's assent, I stand beside the handrail and gaze up into the sky. It's a vivid shade of blue today. The sun shines powerfully down on us. I can feel heat rising off the iron railing in front of me. After a moment, Sakaki turns to me and breaks the silence. Hey. Yes? Are you sleeping on your feet? No, I'm awake. You were so quiet I thought otherwise. Would you prefer me to talk about something, or ask you questions? No, that's not necessary. I see. In that case, I guess I'll do what I feel like. Sakaki tilts her head back slightly and gazes into the sky for a long moment. Her long hair catches the sea breeze and flutters like a flag. Do you come up here frequently? Why do you ask? We've run into each other here before. True, now that you mention it. I lean forward and grip the warm iron railing with both hands as I speak. Every once in a while, I guess, just to look at the sky by myself. Really? That's a bit hard to believe. It really is every once in a while. Anyway, that's the only reason I come up here. I see. Everyone has times when they want to be alone, right? Are you insinuating something? No, we're talking about me here. The sunlight today really is powerful. Very much a midsummer day. The shadow of a kite flying overhead, moving slowly across the roof, wings and beak clearly defined against the concrete. As I follow the shadow's movement with my eyes, Sakaki blurts out unexpected words. You don't plan to ask, do you? About what? What I do outside on the weekends. Sakaki turns her face ever so slightly towards me as she speaks. Wouldn't you usually ask after you saw me leaving at that hour? Yeah, I did ask, remember? But since then, you haven't mentioned it at all. You told me you didn't want to talk about it, so I haven't brought it up since then. Huh? If you change your mind about that, I assume you'd let me know. I'm not looking to stick my nose in other people's business. With the exception of when somebody wants me to. That policy isn't limited to Sakaki. I'm trying not to interfere with any of the students here more than necessary. I don't dislike any of them, and I don't have my reasons to go out of my way to avoid them, but all the same, I don't have any reason to get closer to them. That said, when they're the ones approaching me, there's no need to reject them either. I'm trying to maintain that subtle balance as my master taught me. Sakaki stares steadily at my face. Her expression lies somewhere between puzzlement and curiosity. I don't know what's gotten her interest all of a sudden, but it's clearly different from her usual apathetic gaze. What is it? It's nothing. Sakaki abruptly walks away from the railing and heads for the stairs. Halfway there, she pauses briefly and looks back in my direction. I'll be going back to my room. Right. You really are an odd one, you know that? I'm trying to think which episode it was, but I do remember that happening at least once. I do remember that one episode, well, at least one episode, where SpongeBob and Patrick were trying to work together to get Squidward back. There was that one episode where Squidward moved into this city where everyone looked exactly like him and was like him in a sense. They all enjoyed playing clarinet, eating canned bread. Eventually he got bored of the whole thing and started going a little crazy like SpongeBob and Patrick were. Yeah, Squidward's paradise. Or better yet, too much paradise. The kite I've been watching draws a lazy arc in the sky, as if to wave farewell, and then floats out of sight. The sun begins its slow descent towards the horizon as the evening approaches. I push myself back from the railing and walk slowly towards the stairs, feeling the sun-warmed concrete underneath my feet. An odd one, huh? Don't know if you're one to talk. Her hypocrisy is kind of charming. Feels like I've been lectured about drinking too much by an alcoholic. For some reason, I feel like I've warmed up to Sakaki a bit. Maybe we've got more in common than I realized. Hey, Michiru! Over here! A voice calls to me from the shadows. A voice crying out for justice! I'm right here. Also, justice isn't involved. Show yourself! Jeez, you're so oblivious. Phew. This stuff is way too heavy. Amane? What's up with all those bags? I kinda got carried away with my shopping. Oh yeah, I remember. Considering when you were talking about John Madden, I don't think I'd forget. No kidding, this is ridiculous. How can you possibly use all this by yourself? It's not just for me, of course. I got Makin and Yuji's share too. Oh hey, that's right. Michiru, you have a second? Shoei's got a sale on large eggs. 98 yen for a 10-pack, but it's limited to 1 per customer. Huh? What? You're still not done? Eggs have so many uses, right? You can really never have too many, I mean. When you open the fridge, doesn't it make you a little nervous if you don't have a couple dozen eggs waiting for you? No, it really doesn't. I mean, you just buy more when you run out, right? No, thank you. My pantry needs to be overflowing at all times or just can't settle down. Come on, just tag along. You're a tsundere, aren't you? I don't know, the ones that... Then again, I wasn't expecting to be asked the question about light bulbs anytime soon. I never paid too much attention to the specifics of light bulbs, so I don't know how to answer you, sorry. Sale's gonna end soon? Jeez, alright. If you're that desperate for my company, I guess I can spare some time. Yes! That's what I was looking for. Exactly how a tsundere should be. What's that supposed to mean? Are you mocking the proud history of the tsundere people? Perish the thought. Tee-hee-hee. Chee-hee-hee yourself. I'm home! That's a load off. You're home? This isn't your room! Yuji? Not around? Well, whatever. Michiru, hand me that bag, will you? Gotta get that stuff in the fridge. Oh, that isn't your fridge. Can you really just start putting stuff in it? You're really acting like you own the place. Come on. It's not like he's making good use of it. The fridge in my room is way too small. Don't just stand there. Have a seat. I got you some tea or something. Huh? Okay. Barley tea good enough? Here you go. Yeah, thanks. Okay, hold on just 1 second here. Yeah, you scared me. What the heck? Why are you shouting all of a sudden? Huh? Hey, why are you taking off your clothes? Why are you taking off your clothes? You kind of repeated yourself there. Good to know. Thanks so much. Why are you getting undressed? What are you getting so worked up about? Everybody changes clothes when they come home. Maybe so, but this is not your home, right? You just barged into a guy's room and started stripping. It's not like I'm planning on lounging around naked, I'm just getting changed into my casual clothes. Why exactly do you have a change of clothes in this room in the first place? What's with you two? Are you dating? Living together? Why is there a bra lying on the top of his bed? I have way too many questions right now. Sorry. It's a real mess, huh? Oh, that's okay, but is it my imagination, or is it most of the stuff in here yours, not Yuji's? I mean, this place is pretty freaking bleak. He doesn't even have a TV. Well, there's a TV in the lounge just outside his room, and I think he's got most of his belongings stuffed in that huge backpack. Of course, I don't have any idea what's exactly in it. Oh, hey, what's in here? Oh, don't open that door! Yuji gets seriously mad. Why? That's basically his private room. Not that it's very large. 2.5 square meters or so, I guess. Huh? That's just a walk-in closet, right? What the heck does he have in there? I'm telling you, just leave it alone. There's nothing interesting in there anyway. It's basically an empty room. Really? I took a quick peek inside once, but all I saw was scraps of paper all over the place. If there's nothing in there, why can't we look? Doesn't matter if it's empty. I think he just needs a totally personal space. Everybody has parts of themselves they don't want others looking at, you know? He got really angry the time I went in there. It's off limits. Why? I don't get it. Well, think of it this way. How would you feel if someone started looking through the messages on your cell phone? Pretty mad, right? It's something like that for him. Even though the room's completely empty? Even if there aren't any messages in your phone, you don't want someone looking through it, you know? I still don't get it. Let me put it this way. I'm pretty sure he's got his past stuffed in there. Huh? What? By which I mean all the things he doesn't want anyone to know about. Oh. If you put it that way, well, it's not like I don't have some secrets myself, I guess. Just leave it be, okay? Yeah, I got it. More importantly, I gotta get to work on dinner. I was going to do gyoza dumplings today. Can you help me out, Michiru? Huh? Wait a second. You even make his meals for him? I'm always making extra for Makina anyway. There's hardly any effort to make his share while I'm at it. If you got time, help me out with wrapping the dumplings. Why gyoza anyway? Does he like dumplings? Well, he's not a picky eater, but he doesn't have many favorite foods either. He basically eats anything I put in front of him. Not a big fan of meat, though. I think shrimp gyoza should be right up his alley. I haven't made dumplings before, alright? Go get Makina to help. The girl's no good at all with this sort of thing. She'll just start making sculptures with the dough. Alright, so why not ask Sachi? Why push this on me? Come on, I gotta teach the second daughter something every once in a while. Stop your complaining and then get over here. Second daughter? Our firstborn is hopeless on this front, can't manage anything harder than cup ramen. The third daughter takes everything seriously, so she'll remember what you teach her, but give her a job like this and she gets so obsessed with wrapping every dumpling perfectly shut that it never gets done. And as I mentioned, the youngest child hasn't grasped the difference between making gyoza and playing with clay. Why am I the second daughter anyway? You're crude, uncouth, your personality is warped, and you aren't what I call charming, but you're still the girliest of the bunch somehow. Sounds about right for the troublemaking, attention-starved middle child. Is that supposed to be a compliment? But of course. Alright, shall we get started with the setup? I'm telling you, I've never done any cooking before. It's easy. We steam the cabbage and bok choy for a bit, boil the bamboo shoots, and mix in chives. Instead of meat, we'll be mincing shrimp as the base for the filling, and we just wrap it up on some off-the-shelf dough skins. Come to think of it, for a room this barren, there's a pretty impressive set of cooking utensils. Yeah. Well, I've been sort of bringing all the big pans to get in the way of my room down here. You're just using this place as a dumping ground, aren't you? Come on, he's getting delicious meals out of it. I'd hardly call that a bad trade. Pass me the salt. Salt? Is that this one? It is indeed. Hey, what's this thing? With all the big grains of something or other inside. It's parched rice. Instead of using desiccants, you can just roast the rice for long-term storage. What the heck is that? Folk wisdom? You're such an old lady about this stuff, Amane. Jeez, leave me alone. What's wrong with knowing a few household tricks? Here we go. Whoosh. You're more casual about this than I expected. Don't be silly. What's the point of doing it the painstaking way when there's a machine that works? That time really adds up when you're doing this every day, you know. The trick to consistent home cooking is knowing where to cut corners. Really? Gyoza dumplings might sound difficult, but even grade schoolers can make pretty decent ones with a little practice. It does look kinda easy the way you do it, with the whoosh and all. I'm always trying to teach Makina this, but the most important thing when you're learning to cook is to avoid getting clever. Just do what the recipe tells you, and you'll hardly ever fail outright. 80% of the time a beginner makes something completely inedible, it's because they came up with some brilliant idea and ignored the instructions. I see. Then again, I'm a pro, so I do whatever I want. Hey, what was that? What did you just put in there? Oh, it's oolong tea. Pour a dash of this onto the guy with a filling, and you'd be amazed how much tastier it gets. Huh? Really? But it looks so gooey now. Gooey is fine. Who cares? Yuji loves oolong tea. Huh? That's the reason you tried this? Aren't you kind of, careless about this? Alright, we're done with the filling. Now we just wrap them up and fry them. See, not so hard, is it? Is this really okay? Wrapping part isn't it kind of tricky? Piece of cake. People only screw up because they get greedy and stuff too much filling in each dumpling. Stick to a teaspoon apiece. After that, just sprinkle some water on the edge of the wrapper with your fingers and pinch it closed. Why is there at least one scene every live stream of this I do where it's just them talking about cooking food and eating? I didn't pay $50 for a cooking simulator, or like a... I didn't pay $50 to hear about home recipes. I heard it was gonna get dark and exciting once we diverged from the main route. That's about as... That's almost... No, that's even more nonsensical a question than do you eat sand, and of course I don't. Yeah, there was still that do you eat sand question from Matthias. Actually became a bit of a meme for a while. To which I eventually did. Hated every bit of it. Wouldn't even wish it upon my worst enemy. Welcome back, Yuji. Where have you been? Out getting up to no good? Yeah, I did pay about $50 for this. But it's a freaking huge visual novel. I'm probably not even 1/6 or 7th of the way done still. Maybe not even an 8th of the way through. This is just the main route, and I'm about halfway done that, and then there's like a long route for each of the 5 main characters. So I will be playing this for months at the very least, before it's actually all finished. We're cooking dinner at Gyoza tonight. I'm asking why you're doing that in my room. Oh, don't be grumpy. We're making your share too. I don't remember asking for any. But you won't turn it down, will you? Well, can't let food go to waste. Oh, please, you don't fool me. Once you actually start eating, you always end up admitting how good it is. This is what we call tsundere, you know. Am I right, Michiru? Huh? Ah, that's right! Hey, Yuji! What? Don't misunderstand, okay? It's not like I made dinner for you or anything. I was making my own share and just happened to have some extra left over. Got it? It's not like I made them for you or anything. Sometimes you just forget you're supposed to be a tsundere, don't you? But that's not true! Well, fine. Try not to make too much of a mess in here, okay? Where are you off to? Just going to buy some oolong tea. Just bought some now. It's in the fridge. I appreciate it. Come on, you know. You really do have it together. Very much the responsible older woman. I'm honestly impressed. What's this all of a sudden? Hey, Yuji! What now? Look, you. Don't just stand there gulping down the tea she bought you like it's the most natural thing in the world. Do you understand what you've got here? It's thanks to Amani that you've got this easy life, you know? You better not forget that. Oh, yeah, I guess. Can't forget that the front lines are only possible through the support of the supply units and paymasters. What are you even talking about? You make no sense at all sometimes. Do you really understand? Well, to be honest, I have no idea why you've gotten so angry all of a sudden. Sorry. Don't apologize to me, idiot! Show some gratitude to Amane for once. Right now! I don't really get it, but Amane, thank you very much for everything that you do, I guess. You're very welcome, I suppose. Okay, I sort of expected as much from him, but why did you turn that sentence into a question, Amane? Well, I just don't remember doing anything I'd expect him to grovel in gratitude over. Is it really that big a deal? It might not seem like much to you, Amane, but there's certain people who feel self-conscious about never doing anything for anyone else. I expect buying some tea looks like a truly heroic act of charity. You don't get it all! Also, you're a jerk! What do you want from me? I want you to show Amane the gratitude she deserves, and while you're at it, show me some gratitude for making the gyoza. Got it? Oh, is that all? Of course, I'm grateful to you both. I appreciate it, Michiru. I don't feel really convinced of that, but very well. I suppose I'll let you off the hook for the moment. And engaged in a gyoza pig-out party. The Mihama Female Gyoza Corps was then established, under the command of Suo Amane, Exo Kominesachi, to pursue these objectives. All members hurriedly scraped together ingredients from the fridges. Our goal was set at 120... 120 what? The results of this emergency production varied widely in quality. There were a respectable number of dumplings, filled with relatively appropriate things like bean jam or cheese, but also some truly bizarre results such as fish stick gyoza and wiener gyoza. Soon, dozens of dumplings were arrayed in front of the hot plate. Much like the weapons brought to battle by an army on the verge of defeat, the variation was rich, if not the quality. We began testing a wide range of dipping sauces as well, leading to even stranger combinations of tastes. Fortunately, Makina quickly complained that eating them plain tastes better. The group's experimental spirit restrained at last. The gyoza pig-out party drew to a close without any major casualties. Alright, so back to school again, I see. There's an old proverb. Once 3 women gather, things get noisy. It happens to be a lie. Truth of the matter is, 1 woman is enough for things to get noisy. Females are capable of holding a lengthy conversation with a wall. Get 3 such creatures together, and you're solidly beyond noisy and into migraine-inducing. A conversation between men is a very efficient thing. Step 1. Both sides communicate their business. There is no step 2. With women, it's a different story. Before they get to the point, the conversation will be diverted onto the subject of dieting, which then develops into a chat about cosmetics. From there, the topic will shift to TV programs, then celebrities, perhaps followed by an exchange of opinions on popular sweets. After a stopover at the old standby, love gossip. Things will come full circle to more dieting talk. Whatever the original point of the conversation may have been, it's buried under the bewildering blizzard of topics, never to be seen again. Then again, maybe I'm just looking at this the wrong way. Seems entirely plausible that female conversation is pointless by design. Of course, I'm something of a magnanimous spirit, so I do my best to endure these unproductive chats when necessary. But there comes an end to every limit. Once my tolerance is exceeded, my usual coping method is to shut down my brain, then repeat, I see. Amazing. And not your fault every time I sense a pause in the verbal onslaught. In many cases, this proves sufficient. On one memorable occasion, I weathered a conversation with a woman for a good 4 hours using nothing but these 3 phrases. You think so well, Kazami-san. I see. And the matter is decided, I think. Amazing. I'll make every effort to produce a work of the highest possible quality. Not your fault. Unfortunately, there are also times when my strategy doesn't work out so well. Are you really okay with agreeing to that? Seriously? Please don't tell me you were just spacing out. What a ridiculous accusation. I was listening to every word. Okay then, how about you try telling me what that conversation was about? Let's see, something about how Sachi hates pickles, or was it parsley? Not remotely close! You weren't paying any attention at all! Seems my concentration may have slipped over so slightly. Probably because I got caught up reading that new novel last night. Want to eat the sweet, tasty chocolate roof with me? It'll be worth it even if the witch from Hansel and Gretel comes to us and tries to boil us because we'd be so fat that she'd want to eat us because we're fat. No, not really. Steal the witch's broom, fly away, then go to Jupiter. But can it even sustain life in the first place, Jupiter? I know it's got that giant red spot. Haven't heard anything about its sustaining life, though. I must have flipped the mental kill switch without even realizing it. I forced my brain out of hibernation mode and stared Michiru in the eyes. Alright, honestly, I wasn't paying attention in the slightest. Therefore, I have no idea whatsoever as to what that conversation was about. Not even a shred of a clue. You got a problem with that? Hey, what's with the attitude all of a sudden? All I remember of that discussion was some pointless small talk at the beginning. Hardly a big deal if it did space out. Oh yeah? Well, if you're really okay with that, it's not like I care. Just make sure. Don't come crying to me later, got it? Crying? That and either Jupiter is extremely cold or extremely hot to a point where in either case scenario you can't survive those temperatures. Don't remember which it was, but it's probably either extremely cold or hot. I can see you now, crawling back to me sobbing. It's embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. Don't think I'm going to wipe your tears for you or anything. It's embarrassing? What? Sorry, I have no idea what you're talking about. That's your own stupid fault! This might be trouble. Kami-san, about what we just discussed? Yeah, about that. Would you allow me to take your measurements? After all, if by any chance the length of the proof is insufficient, it would be quite a problem. The length. Taking the length on what? Gotta have sufficient length. Yeah, certainly. Yes, it wouldn't be usable otherwise. Can you just spit it out? What are we talking about? Right, wouldn't be usable. Alright then, please hold still for a moment. Fuck's sake, Sachi, not in the hallway. With her customary finesse, Sachi takes my measurements. The skillful, efficient movements of her hands remind me of a maid gracefully pouring tea. Her refined motion possessed something of the special charm unique to the work of true artisans. Truly impressive. Can I ask one question? Certainly, what is it? You're measuring for the length of what exactly? The strap. The strap, eh? Well then, I'm going to begin working at once. Please excuse me. Show me what you can do. I expect precision to be the millimeter. I'll do my very best to make a shark pouch that will look perfect on you, Kazami-san. Hold on. Hold on, wait, Sachi! Sachi trots off, oblivious. My voice doesn't even seem to register. As I find myself alone, the gravity of the situation at last begins to sink in. A shark pouch that will look perfect on me? By shark pouch, he is presumably referring to something like that vaguely fish-shaped fanny pack Michiru is always wearing. That much I understand, but one that will look perfect on me? What exactly is that supposed to mean? I can't wait to see it. Can we just see the shark pouch on Kazami already? As I walked down the corridor, lost in my thoughts, I was surprised by an agitated yelp. It was reminiscent of the high-pitched shrieks emitted by cartoon animals back in the earliest days of sound films. I moved to confirm the situation, prepared for the remote possibility of an emergency. Instead, I found Michiru sprawled out on all fours, her face planted on the ground. Apparently, she was cleaning the floor with her tongue. How admirable. Ew. A face mop, eh? That brings back memories. I had to clean a few hallways this way myself, back in my old school. That's completely ridiculous. I just fell, idiot! When I looked down, a number of canisters were strewn all over the floor. They resembled Michiru's containers of Ramoon candy. Apparently this wasn't an attempt at cleaning after all. They must have fallen out of her shark pouch when she fell. In an attempt to be polite, I bent over to help her pick them up, and Michiru hurriedly snatched the nearest canister away from my hand. It's fine. I can pick them up myself. You just keep your hands to yourself, got it? If you say so. Looks like the zipper on this thing is getting a little loose. Guess I'll have to ask Sachi to fix it. You called Michiru-sama? Where the heck did you pop out from? I simply happened to be passing by. Really? Okay, well that's convenient. Could you repair the zipper on this for me? With pleasure. But I must say, this shark is incredibly cute. As always. Well, yeah. Sure, I guess. I feel this sort of item only looks good on certain people, but it suits Michiru-sama very well indeed. What do you think, Kazami-san? Yeah, it's cute. Michiru has reached the pinnacle of shark chic. Shark chic. That's wonderful. Now that I think about it. By this point, I was already mostly tuned out of the conversation. Once a female speaks the word cute, in most cases, the discussion is going to get painfully lengthy and repetitive. Combined with my drowsiness from insufficient sleep, this instinctive judgment quickly set my mind to hibernation mode. You like this sort of thing too? Yeah. That's somewhat unexpected. Really? Don't tell me. Let me guess, you've secretly been longing for a shark patch of your own, right? I see. If you really do want a shark of your own, perhaps I can make you one. Amazing. Hey, okay, I'm sorry for joking around. She's really going to make you one, you know? Not your fault. Michiru-sama, it seems that Kazami-san truly does want a shark pouch of his own. You think so? Are you sure about that? His eyes look kind of vacant. Maybe just stop paying attention? That can't be. Michiru-sama, Kazami-san would never do such a thing. Kazami-san, please allow me to make you a shark of your very own. I see. I know. Lots of rhinestones to make an extra cute sparkly version for you. But don't worry, it'll be durable enough for you to wear it every single day, as I'm sure you will. Amazing. Hey, Yuji, I'm sorry, it's my fault. She's really going to do this, you know. You're going to live every day with a glittery shark around your waist. A sparkly lifestyle, you understand? Is that really what you want? Not your fault. Michiru-sama, you mustn't judge a book by its cover. It appears Kazami-san actually loves the fancy, sparkly things in life. I'm certain rhinestones will suit this shark perfectly. You think so as well, Kazami-san? I see. So the matter is decided, I think. Amazing. I'll make every effort to produce a work of the highest possible quality. Not your fault. Somehow it seems the conversation concluded with me sentenced to wear a sparkly shark fanny pack at all times. I gently closed my eyes and imagined the result. A sparkly lifestyle, as they say in Hollywood. A life of glitter. Although I can picture the scene without difficulty, accepting it proves beyond my capabilities. Sachi! Sachi! Yes, how can I help you? Emergency situation. Sorry for the sudden notice, but I need to withdraw the previous request. Discontinue the production process. What do you mean? I'm talking about the pouch. You remember, right? Yes, are you referring to the shark pouch that I've already halfway completed for you? You work fast. Yes, indeed. I can hardly control myself. My hands have been moving at Mach speed. Every time the word shark pouch leaves Sachi's mouth, her expression becomes dazed and dreamy. The girl's gotten herself all fired up for some reason. I've got to do something and quick. I'm positive a shark will look simply adorable on you. Rest assured, I'm putting my heart and soul into producing a flawless pouch, perfect down to the millimeter. Amazing. If the thing's already half finished, I can hardly admit that I simply wasn't paying attention to the conversation. In the field, even a momentary lapse of judgment can be enough to trap you in a hopeless situation. I've seen people die for their carelessness before my eyes. We're comparing wearing a silly-looking pink fanny pack shark pouch to dying here now. A few thoughtless steps, a small sound drowned out by the buzzing of insects, a single stray bullet. Such things can sometimes change the fate of the world. Oh yeah, debug, hi. Coming out tomorrow at noon. I'm pretty excited, so... in like 12 hours or so, I'd assume. Cold sweat trickles down my armpits as I speak. A shark, eh? A shark, is it? Yes! An adorable shark! Could you make it a crocodile instead? I certainly can. I'll begin at once. We're dealing with Sachi here. A design change like that doesn't even faze her. Sorry, forget about the crocodile as well. In that case, I'll remove this tracing paper for the moment. Coming out at 1 PM EST. Time zones didn't change. Her preparations for changing the coloration from a shark to a crocodile are proceeding far too quickly. I can't underestimate her skills. I've got to pick an animal difficult enough to throw her for a loop and slow down the production process. Make up an animal that doesn't actually exist. Which will mean... I've got it, Sachi. What we need here is a bush dog. Bush dog? Does that even exist? Do you mean the candid species common in northeast Argentina, supposedly capable of running backward at full speed, known as the vinegar dog in Brazil? I do indeed. Think you can handle it? But of course. However, I think it might take some time to complete. Sachi twists her face in apparent frustration, just as I'd hoped. Even with her determined spirit, making a motif from such an unfamiliar animal should require some time-consuming work. Alright, carefully collect your reference materials. Proceed slowly but surely. Nice and slowly, understood? Mission accepted. Had to try. Let's have your initial report on the estimated time to completion. 20 minutes. Through heroic effort, I managed to swallow the words "that's too damn fast" before they leave my mouth. I see. You think it'll go that smoothly, eh? Indeed. Think about creative Minecraft, but you have to unlock every block to build with, by finding and collecting every block, and researching and duplicating. Seems the bush dog was too easy. If I'd gone with the golden lion tamarin, I might have bought myself a few more minutes. Damn it, I chose poorly! Damn it! You're such an idiot! It's your own fault for not paying attention to the conversation. You're really hopeless. What's the point of passing judgment on history from a position of hindsight? At that time, under those circumstances, I made the best decisions I could. And this is the result. My condolences. Your best is pretty terrible. Damn it! Damn it all! Hey, calm down already, will you? It's just a pouch. Hardly that big a deal, is it? Yeah, but once you get enough... Yeah, once you get a slime raid and kill a slime king a couple times, you're pretty much just well set for gel, and by extension torches for the rest of the game, because wood's pretty easy to just get. Thanks to Michiru's words, I quickly regained my composure. It seems my lack of sleep may have made me overly irritable. Just as she says, if I think about the matter rationally, there's hardly any reason to make such a fuss over a mere rhinestone-covered shark pouch. The mature thing is to politely accept my sparkly fate. On second thought, I'd rather die! Look, I'm telling you to calm down already. Adequate sleep! Adequate sleep is gravely important! What's going on? Pretty dang noisy out here. We having a festival? Yikes, that's gonna take forever, isn't it? Only the most die-hard people would go for it. I'm at a loss here. Yuki's seriously freaking out. I've never seen him like this before. Whoa! A rare sight indeed! Likely a case of calcium deficiency. Here, eat up! As she speaks, Makina picks up a petal from the hallway floor and offers it to me. I accept it with a curt yeah, then hurl it into the distance with one smooth movement. What do you think you're doing? Silence, please. I really, truly need you to stop talking for a while. Please don't say train. Nobody was discussing locomotives. Your English is terrible. Also, you need to shut up. Mew? Mew? What the heck? Oni-chan's acting real weird. You were right. Something's off here. It's his own fault for only half listening. Basically getting you're just desserts, you know? Or you're just deserts. True, when you get down to it, this is my fault. Seems I have no choice but to accept the consequences. So Chiru, what did you need me for? Well, it's complete. Behold the bush dog. We better be able to see this. Look, the bush dog. Although she's completely out of breath, Sachi's face is filled with the joy of victory. She thrusts out her hand, offering me a pouch recognizably modeled after a bush dog. Pretty impressive accuracy for such off-the-cuff work, actually. Good work. Impressive. I wasn't expecting you to finish the job so quickly. Yes! Sharks are the state! It's not a shark, it's a bush dog! Not that either of those have anything to do with the state. Well then, Kazami-san, please feel free to try it on right away. Drape this strap over your shoulder. Sachi's made use of fabric with a chocolate chip pattern in order to express the distinctive coat of the bush dog. The chocolate chip design is more familiar as a camouflage pattern in desert regions, but it's well suited to the purpose. I'm honestly fairly impressed with their creative choice. And yet, as if to intentionally shatter the otherwise clever design, sparkling rhinestones are scattered all across the pouch's surface. The sheer glitter power of this thing is overwhelming. I feel a little dizzy just looking at it. Hey, Sachi. It's no exaggeration to call this pouch my Komine Sachi's greatest masterpiece. Please, by all means, try it on. I see. I steel my nerves and prepare to face my cruel, sparkly fate. What's this chapter called, I want to see? The Precious Pouch. If only I'd gotten adequate sleep. But in the next moment, the situation changes abruptly. Michiru approaches briskly, snatches the pouch from my hands and dangles it in front of Makina. Hey, take a look at this thing, Makina. What? I ain't interested in fanny packs, you know. Keep your nonsense to yourself, why don't you? Stupid. Take a close look, got it? See, it's got these shiny bits, right? What? Shiny bits? With a subtle motion too small for Makina to consciously notice, Michiru draws the pouch back toward herself. The action triggers Makina's subconscious instinct for the chase, firmly hooking her interest on the bush dog pouch. Whoa! This thing's hella shiny! Crazy shiny! I want it! I want it! At Makina's words, I grab Sachi's shoulders and stare intensely into her eyes. Sachi, my friend, you heard the girl. This thing's hella shiny. I want it. Unless you give me this pouch, I don't know what will become of me. I'm afraid I can no longer live without it. What passion. My heart has been moved. On that note, I know it was originally scheduled to receive this, but I think Makina may be the more deserving recipient. It may look even better on her than it would on me. What do you think? You may be right. I think Kazami-san is ideally suited to a shark, but for a bush dog, Maki-chan may be a tactically appropriate choice. Hey, what is this anyway? A golden lion or something? How rude. Anyone can tell at a glance that this is a bush dog. A bush dog, eh? It's super cute. I love bush dogs. Almost as much as I love Chirichiru. What? Just where do I stand in your internal rankings? Huh? In order, I love dogs, Chirichiru, bush dogs, and dogs! Why am I in the animal category and you said dogs twice? Sachi, can you find in your heart to give it to our young animal lover here? I think that would be the best thing for the pouch. Who says I'm an animal lover? I just love bush dogs, also dogs, Chirichiru, and dogs. That's it. Very well, I understand. Perhaps you're right. This pouch might suit her best. Yay! I got it! I got a super shiny bush dog! Wafoo! This guy just barked! Yes, I thought it might be nice if it could bark. Why are you shy about that? Sachin, can it bark more? Does it have other barks? At the moment, I'm afraid there are only around 10 variations, but if you do this... Are we even gonna get to see what the bush dog pouch looks like? Or do we just have to come up with a good picture of it on her ourselves? Excellent work. I definitely owe you one. Or do I just have to leave it to imagination as to what it's gonna look like? For what? No need to play dumb. I know you orchestrated this conclusion. You called Makin over so you could press that pouch on her. Orchestrated? Don't just start accusing me of weird stuff. What part of me looks like I'm orchestrating? I've never orchestrated in my life. Can you define orchestrated? It's, you know, that thing where you stand on the box with the little wand or whatever? What the heck is it? What does that mean? Either way, I owe you one. From now on, I'll be paying at least a little attention to any conversation, no matter how incredibly pointless. Otherwise, there's no telling when I'll get caught up in something ridiculous again. Are you honestly trying to be nice here? Or is this more of the usual sourpuss act? I seriously can't tell. Sounds like you're describing yourself. What? That's so not true! I'm super on... no, I'm super Wait, what am I supposed to say here? If a tsundere honestly admits they're a tsundere, they stop being a tsundere. think of it this way. A woman says everyone on her island tells nothing but lies. If it's true, the woman's a liar, but if she's a liar, what she says can't be true. Same thing applies here. Yes, the famous hedgehog's dilemma. No, not quite. But really? The hedgehog's dilation? Now you're just talking about an animal giving birth. Wait, which one is the dilation then? The cat inside the box? Are you looking to become a veterinarian? Huh? I want to be a vet? When does this turn to a psychological test? I can't let my guard down for an instant around you. There was no testing involved. You managed to get yourself completely confused just fine without my help. Specifically, you started talking about things you don't understand and lost track of the conversation entirely. Neither Schrödinger nor Freud have anything to do with this. You're trying too hard. Stick to nice, small words. Oh, shut up already! Anyway, I'm me, not anybody else. Got it? I guess just leave the big words to me. For example, like computer. Well, I wasn't! So there! Blah! Michiru takes a handful of Ramune candies from her pouch and munches down on them vigorously. I know women are always saying they have a separate stomach for sweets, but isn't this daily intake of junk food bad for her? Or is this some form of stress relief? Seems to me that a coping strategy like that would just get caught in the vicious circle of candy-bloated misery. You know, no matter how much glucose you take in, it's not going to increase your basic potential for action. It's certainly necessary as energy for your brain, but considering your presumably modern, clearly unhealthy diet, there's no need to go out of your way to take more. Junk food like that is basically pure sugar, just so you know. Well, leave me alone, alright? Eating these things calms me down. If you're that fond of them, let me try one. No way, these are mine and mine alone. Go buy your own, you deadbeat. Ah, deadbeat isn't quite the right word. An info someone for someone who wants candy. You what? You. Sugarless? I think it may have gotten there from homeless, but the nuance is actually pretty different. I think I might have mentioned this, but your English really needs work. Shut up. Anyway, that's that. Bye-bye. Oh, reasonably polite farewell for once. Oh, I take that back. It's not like I'm saying bye-bye or anything. I'm storming off without a word. Got it? Without a word. Got it. See you later. Yeah, later. Ah! Without a word. It's difficult for me to determine whether this girl is basically a somewhat considerate person or just an utter idiot who occasionally stumbles her way into acts of kindness. But either way, she's incredibly noisy. From experience, I know that there are essentially two types of women in the world. You have your noisy women, and then you have your even noisier women. And we men must manage as best as we can in this cruel world. There's a quick and efficient way of shutting a woman up, namely sealing her lips. But sadly, this comes with its own set of complications. Life's no picnic. I think I'll be going to bed early tonight. When you visit a country where they speak a different language, there's one thing you should always learn first. Namely the local phrase for thank you, or so my master taught me. Of course, my master was also such a half-assed human being that she usually didn't bother to learn anything else. Get thanks down first and just make up the rest as you go along. I have plenty of good conversations in America using only thank you, dog, and pencil. When someone's that shamelessly sloppy about life, it's actually kind of charming. No one had the brains of poultry. But while we're on the subject of English, chicken head is an insult you should definitely try to avoid over there. Say that to a woman, and you've implied she spends a lot of time moving her head back and forth like a chicken pecking at feed.
Today's supper is a fish. You like a fish?
You like a fish?
No, I don't like a fish. Yes, fish. Are you okay?
Let me just appreciate the voice acting here. Are you gay? Yes, I'm okay. Oh, jeez, that's tough. You too? Of course not. You bastard. You bastard. Please say again. Know what I'm saying? Knock it off.
I like fish. I'm rabbit.
Hold on, just wanted to take a print screen here.
You love it? You must not love.
Hey, Amane. I was enjoying that. What exactly are those two doing over there? Oh, it's Professor Machina's remedial class. Remedial class? Remember how Michiru was this close to failing the last English test? So every once in a while, Machina teaches her for a bit. Machina? Teach? I think I mentioned this before, but Machina lived in America for a while as a kid. The idea of Machina teaching somebody is kind of bizarre. What are you saying? Think the matter over, gentlemen. Listen carefully. Matsushima Michiru is a woman who misreads Chopin as chopping, while I'm a woman who merely mispronounces animal as enemo. Surely no objective observer can deny that I'm the one who should be teaching her. A self-evident truth, is it not? No, I'm certain of it. What's a rhetorical question? And for some reason, I'm talking like a pretentious git. Truly the epitome of annoying. You're saying that yourself? If you're aware, maybe you could just stop? You're awfully full of yourself for someone who can't even pronounce Anomalocaris properly. The heck is that? It's the name of the largest animal in existence during the Cambrian period. Machina, let's see what you got. Wrong. Try again. Wrong. It's Anomalocaris. Anomalocaris. Once more. Halogen bulb. Halogen bubble. 3 strikes. You're out. What? You can't even handle halogen bulb? Maki-chan's tongue is short and her head works in a slightly special way, so there are many words she has difficulty pronouncing properly. That ain't right, you know. Don't you underestimate me. You'll be crying in the end. Cargo passenger, ferry, Mangyongbong 92. Shut up! Leave me alone! Spare me the temper tantrum. It's probably a side effect of a compression-based mnemonic method. She seems to be storing only the beginning and ending of each word for efficiency, so proper nouns and words with unusual middle syllables give her trouble. Middable. Oh, pipe down. You don't have to scream. I'm right here. Alright then, the topic of the conversation is Amani. Begin! That's right.
I'm making her a lover. It's to become happy. How about it? She's lover of lover.
She is rover of rover. A lover of rubber? If you marry her, it is mammy of mammy.
It is mommy of mommy. Is mommy.
Is your mommy a mummy? Yes. Holy shit. Quite a family. Try to find your own Whoa, Machina. Always just surprised me to hear her swear. Holy shit. Quite a family. Try to find your own path, okay? What good is this doing? This isn't even the conversation. Hey, Amane. Is this really going to help her grades any? I wonder. Well, it's probably better than nothing, right? Well, maybe, I guess. It's a complete lack of coherent flow of the conversation is part of the problem, but Machina's English is honestly almost as bad as Michiru's. Her pronunciation is comically off and she mixes in many weird phrases you won't hear over there. They say you shouldn't learn English from a non-native speaker, and this is a good case in point. Just get a bit down and you can make up the rest as you go along, right? As you go along, eh? I suppose there are some people out there who can hold an entire conversation using only pencil, dog, and thank you. When it comes to English conversations, might as well just make it up as you go along. I guess that's the extent of our lesson for the day. When you see a maid with her hands empty, hands empty, call out to her. I might be stopping this stream of this soon. I mean, 80 minutes already. But I'm kind of just waiting till it's actually going to get really good. Like, I want to go on some of the actual routes specific to characters. Because I heard then we're going to start getting some interesting plot lines. Excluding the bridesmaid, whose main responsibility is getting drunk at her friend's wedding. The essence of the maid is service. Her job is to anticipate her employer's actions and needs and take care of the dirty work in advance. This generally involves tools of some kind, so a maid who isn't carrying anything tends to be an idle, underemployed maid. You can apply the idea to other occupations as well. A good soldier always carries a well-maintained rifle, and a diligent student should always have a reference book or two on their person. But in some cases, the opposite may also be true. As I've just discovered, there are certain maids who catch your attention when their hands are full, rather than empty. Oh, Sachi, hi. Just yesterday, we sat at our desks in the same classroom, pursuing our studies together. And now here she is, walking in my direction, dragging a metal bat roughly across the floor. Turn around and Sachi's there. In this country where guns and bladed weapons are strictly prohibited, this is about as suspicious as it gets. Show this scene to 10,000 Japanese, and I think everyone would mistake her for a dangerous person. Of course, I don't actually have any proof that assumption would be a mistake on their part. Maybe she really is planning to burst into someone's room and launch an attack. So who's the target? What? Unable to suppress my doubts, I call out to Sachi with the question foremost on my mind. She turns to face me with a blank expression of confusion. Her nonplussed face does not confirm that my worst suspicions were unfounded. My interrogation proceeds to the next logical point of inquiry. What's that metal bat in your right hand? It's a Mizumo. No, that's not. It's a Mizmo! I wasn't asking for the brand, and your pronunciation was fine the first time. I'm very sorry. I can't quite seem to grasp what you're trying to ask me, Kazami-san. Why have that metal bat and what you intend to use it for? Now I see. The nuance of the question eluded me at first. Closing her eyes, she nods in satisfaction at resolving the puzzle. If I was having this conversation with someone from Ichigaya, we would have gotten to this point in 2 seconds or less. Communication between students, as you can see, is a comparatively involved and troublesome process. I retrieved this metal bat from my locker in the classroom at Michiru-sama's request. I'm currently bringing it back to her. Oh. Whoa. Michiru asked for that? She planning to challenge Sakaki to a duel or something? I'm afraid I didn't ask. Your position inside the hierarchy of your community is established very quickly. For those determined to move up the ladder, single combat is a fairly common means of advancement. Perhaps this is a good opportunity to witness such a moment of struggle. Mind if I come with you? I don't think I have any objections, if that's what you would like. Alright then, let's go. When we reach Michiru's room, Sachi knocks luckily on the door. What's the password? Mountain. River. Bloomers. Alright. With this brief, cryptic exchange of words, the door swings open. Is this like DDLC? It's a visual novel, yeah. In the sense that it's a visual novel, yes. And there's some pretty dark backstory surrounding each of the main characters that we have yet to actually explore any of these dark backstories in further detail. We're still on the main route. So yeah, Grisaia starts off pretty slow, in all honesty. But I've been told it's gonna get good. And even then, throughout the main route, there's just been quite a few scenes that you could, if you're really astute, see as some sort of foreshadowing as to what sort of past these characters could have had. For example, Makina doesn't like wearing underwear, or really any form of tight clothing. That can hint at something. That transparent light is going to work on me. Oh, it didn't work after all? I couldn't quite tell. Your face seemed to indicate otherwise. Sachi, you could have left that alone, okay? Just for future reference? I apologize. So what exactly are you planning to use a metal bat for? Girls have their secrets. That information is off limits to you. Does a metal bat have any female-specific applications? Alright, thanks, Sachi. I'll get one for this. Yes. With this exchange, Michiru quickly retreats back into her room and Sachi starts to walk off with a satisfied expression on her face. Sachi, aren't you interested in what Michiru plans to use that bat for? It wasn't relevant. My job was simply to deliver the item requested. I see. I do wonder what the bat's gonna be for. Thank you very much. What's next on your schedule? Next, I was planning to water the flower bed in the courtyard. Is that also part of your job as a class rep? It's not an official responsibility, but Principal Tachibana mentioned it would be helpful if I could try to keep the flowers from withering, so... I see. Seems that woman's been saving on labor costs by relying on volunteers for simple maintenance work. Next time you see the principal getting ready to push work on you, I think you should tell her the following. Come back after you fix that habit of baby talking to your pets. Certainly. Also, one more request. Would you mind if I continue observing you work for a while? I don't have any particular objections, but... something the matter? I suppose I'm concerned you'll find watching me rather boring, Kazami-san. No worries on that front. I've already been entertained enough to last me for a while. Sachi tilts her head to the side in a gesture of pure bewilderment. The more time I spend around this girl, the more I realize that she's a natural airhead. The type so oblivious she doesn't even realize she's missing out on everyone else's jokes. I'll keep out of your way. Well, Kofifi was one of them. So we're gonna watch Sachi water flowers. If you forget the strange fact that it's taking place in the Japanese school, this little scene of a maid caring for the flower beds is truly picturesque. Are those purple flowers verbenas? Perennials of the vervain family. In Japan, they're known as Bijozakura. Bijozakura? You're pretty knowledgeable. I wouldn't say knowledgeable, but in order to keep the flowers from withering, I did a certain amount of research. Actually, bricks. No, they're what she calls Bijozakura. That's like probably my best attempt at a Japanese accent. I mean, the R's come out differently. I mean, I make like a different gesture movement with the mouth when I say the R's with like a Japanese accent than with like an English one. I lost my train of thought there. Something wrong? The petals on this one are turning white! Hmm? One of the flower's petals is almost entirely covered in white, as if someone's dusted with powder. Looks like flower disease. At my word, Sachi looks at me with eyes full of anticipation. Sorry, but that doesn't mean it's become edible. It's more commonly known as powdery mildew disease. You'll see it a lot when you're growing wheat or grapes. Oh, I see. It's caused by a parasitic fungus, so the most effective response would probably be using chemical fungicides on the affected plants. Chemical fungicides. If you ask the principal, I'm sure she'll get some for you. Something on your mind? I was just thinking that you're fairly knowledgeable about flowers yourself, Kazami-san. Not in particular. Guess I'm actually pretty similar to you in this respect, Sachi. Somebody told me to read books and I've just been following those orders. After a while, a lot of random trivia just accumulated in my head. It does come in handy every so often. I don't think so. Probably just some fungal disease. Sachi doesn't respond to my words verbally, but her smile seems slightly brighter than usual. Where are we headed next? The bathroom. That's so? Yes. The conversation comes to an abrupt end. We walk on in silence. After a little while, we arrive in front of the girls' bathroom. Hey Sachi, mind if I stop you for a second here? What can I do for you? If we take another step forward here, I'm going to be trespassing in the girls' bathroom. So, it would appear, yes. And you don't have a problem with that? Well, I'm not sure if my feelings on the matter are the most relevant consideration. If one of the others were to see you in a place like this, I'm afraid their level of trust towards you would likely take a severe turn for the worse. Seems she at least understands that a man entering a female restroom is not generally considered acceptable. So next up is cleaning the grand bathroom. It's very rare for anyone to enter the bath at this time, so I typically give it a quick cleaning. My favorite kind of snail. I don't know, Gary? I suppose so. Unfortunately, I lack the power to create magical clones of myself, or the skill to produce a Robo-Sachi to assist me. True, don't think I can help you on that front myself. That said, she could at least try asking one of the others for assistance once in a while. Maybe it has something to do with our firm set of beliefs about our responsibilities as class representative? While I'm pondering the matter, Sachi has already calmly begun her work. After stopping the hot water that's constantly trickling into the oversized bath, she begins to lightly rinse the other areas of the bathroom using the shower head. From the quick, confident movements of her hands, it's obvious she's repeated this procedure many, many times. It's pretty clear that Michiru or Amane helping is a rare event. I think she's effectively been cleaning this place all by herself for a long time now. Since I did tell Sachi I'd stay out of her way, it was my intention not to interfere with her work as much as possible, but... just standing here and watching as my classmate does manual labor feels pretty awkward. Hey, Sachi. Yes? This is just an offer, but how about I help out as well? But cleaning this bathroom isn't your responsibility, Kazami-san. Yeah, but I'd like to help as long as I wouldn't get in the way. What do you say? I must admit, I'm curious about the exact nature of the mysterious powers you seem to be hiding, Kazami-san. Unfortunately, I don't have any supernatural skills, but I do have some confidence in my basic physical capabilities. In that case, I would certainly appreciate it if you could put that strength to use. Sure. Let's get down to it. Your orders? What's wrong? The truth is, I'm not particularly good at giving others instructions. I see. In that case, you want me to give the commands? That would be much appreciated. Got it. We're dividing the bathroom into two halves, Sachi. Continue the work on that area from the entrance to the right wall. I'll assume responsibility for the left half. Our objective will be to finish the work in 15 minutes. Is that acceptable?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. A good response. Sachi lets out a small cry and there's a sound of something toppling over. When I turn around, I find Sachi sitting on her backside on the bathroom floor. She seems somewhat dazed. You planning to clean the floor with your clothes instead of the brush? Oh my. I hadn't even thought of that possibility. The scales have fallen from my eyes. In a gesture that's growing increasingly familiar to me, Sachi nods her head vigorously several times. It seems to be a sign she is absorbing a new idea. So first things first, any injuries? I suppose the tile on the floor may have been scuffed somewhat. That's not a problem. Let's continue the job. I reach my hand out to Sachi, who hasn't budged from the bathroom floor during this conversation. Yes. After helping Sachi to her feet and confirming that she's alright, I return to my own work. But seriously, the more you look at this gigantic bathroom, the more it seems out of place in a student dormitory. Sizable enough that even a grown man would likely get tired trying to clean it alone. Then again, this academy is dramatically over-equipped in nearly every respect, considering the tiny number of students currently enrolled here. The one area where they show moderate restraint is the small faculty, but even then, every class is led by a lecturer with special expertise in their particular field. Well, I suppose the economic efficiency of this place isn't really my problem. What's with the chirping? Do we have a sparrow trapped in here? Huh? When I turn back in search of the wayward songbird, I find Sachi in an inexplicable state of undress. What on earth are you wearing?
えっと
My panties, I suppose?
パンツ一丁でしょうか
She's got a bra on as well, so I think underwear would be a more precise description. No, see. I was trying to ask why you've taken off your maid uniform.
それは
When I fell earlier, my clothes got rather wet. Given that fact, I thought it might as well make use of them as part of a more efficient cleaning method.
掃除をしようと思ったけど
Oh, physicist, hi. And so you wrapped your uniform around the head of the brush and started dragging it across the floor?
はい
Indeed.
風見さんの一
The
言
idea occurred to me because of your wide words earlier, Kazami-san.
です
Good job! I suppose your clothes brush is contacting more of the floor at once than the standard version, but I'm a little more than dubious about how effective a cleaning instrument it is. I have to draw this girl. In exchange, you're standing around your underwear in front of a member of the opposite sex. Any thoughts on that?
ダメって
Is that cute? I can totally picture myself saying it now in my best Peter Griffin voice. I have to draw you. I'm not familiar with the language of the sparrows.
えっと
Is that a problem?
ダメでしょう
Well, not for me. I'm not the sort to complain about a free show.
それなら
In that case, there doesn't seem any reason for concern. As soon as the words are out of her mouth, Sachi gets back to work, completely nonchalant. Things have gotten troublesome all of a sudden. I don't know, quite a lot of stuff to say the least. There was actually a whole chapter centered on a shark pouch, much like Michiru's, like the one she wears. Well, eventually ended up becoming a bush dog pouch, and Sachi actually gave it to Makina when she originally intended for Yuji to be wearing it. There may not be any major problems at present, but if, say, Amane were to walk in right now, I think there's a good possibility I'd get dragged into an interrogation even lengthier than the one that followed the JB incident. This scene, but not the context. What happened here? Yuji let something slip about the clothes that you were wearing, maybe being like a good idea to clean the floor with. Yumiko steps in. At this point I notice Sakaki standing frozen just inside the entrance. Planning to take a bath in your clothes?
その必
I
要
don't think that's my major concern at the moment, thank you very much. Even as she spits out her retort, Sakaki's suspicious glare stays glued to Sachi and her bizarre appearance. Why on earth are you undressed?
風見さんが
Kamani-san said it would be best. What? Hold on, Sachi. There are a number of problems with your attempt at explaining the situation. And how about you enlighten me? You're a prior offender, so I hope you have a very good explanation indeed.
返答によっては許さない
Oh, you're talking about that time she came to school in her underwear. Yes. Sakaki reaches into the pocket of her skirt and retrieves the usual item. So she carries her self-defense stationery with her even into the bath? A truly cautious individual. Sachi could learn a thing or two from her example. I think I've mentioned this before, but that thing isn't going to work on me. As for the reason Sachi's in her underwear, she decided this would be a more efficient method of cleaning and took off her clothes with her own initiative to use them to clean the floor with.
そう
I see. Although I offered my explanation fully expecting it to be rejected, Sakaki accepted my words surprisingly easily. It seems she's familiar enough with Sachi's lack of common sense that even a bizarre story like this sounds perfectly plausible. So anyway, the grand bath is reserved for cleaning at the moment. As for Sachi, she's already restarted her cleaning as if nothing had happened. The females in the school seem to be somewhat lacking in the shame department. Or perhaps my preconceptions on the matter are as old-fashioned as wearing a pager on your hip? Maybe this is just the way things are nowadays. Seems like I've still got quite a lot to learn. Sachi, you're really something. In a lot of ways. Thank you very
ありが
much.
とうございます
I have a truly unlimited number of unresolved questions here, but one in particular stands out. Why is it that this girl can strip to her underwear in front of a man without even batting an eyelid, but blushes bright red when you give her anything resembling a compliment? Female thought processes are very complex. In this way, a day spent in close observation of my classmate comes to an end. And starting the very next day, there's a clear change in my environment. What change in the environment? Specifically this. Sachi has suddenly moved from her habitual seat directly in front of the teacher's podium to the desk immediately next to mine. Now that she started pressing her blubber against me Amane style, she's just changed her seat. Not a particularly dramatic event, really. Hey Yuji, I'd like your explanation for this, right now, and it better be good. I'd like to hear an explanation myself, honestly. But first of all, can you stop interrogating me as if I'm an unfaithful husband? But this small change seems to have taken everyone around me by surprise, prompting general curiosity. Don't tell me you're blackmailing Ernest and Sachi. Did you order her to change seats? Is that it? Where would things go from there? You'd take dirty photos of her, and then call her to your room. Hey, how dare you make a girl say stuff like this? I don't remember making you reveal your sick and twisted mind. Hey, Sachin, why'd you move next to Oni-chan? As Makina plunges into the heart of the matter, the other two Inquisitors catch their breath in anticipation. There's no particular reason. It's just... I think I slightly prefer it this way. Why exactly would she suddenly prefer this seat? Was nearly walking into a girl's bathroom together that much of a bonding experience? Would that mean a certain somebody, likes Yuji? I wish you would have been here for that scene. You, Michiru-sama? We're not talking about me, obviously. I'm asking if you move because you like Yuji, Sachi. I don't think that's it, no. Huh? Really? Yes, I'm quite convinced that Kazami-san isn't a bad person. But I don't have any romantic feeling toward him at the moment. That's so. It is indeed. Sachi simply answers the questions put to her in a steady, bland tone of voice. That hasn't changed at all from the day I met her. You got shot down pretty quick, Yuji. Oh, the shark pouch scene? Honestly, wished I knew. What really stood out to me was how he was comparing the whole shark pouch ordeal to people dying. I basically just felt like it. There's a slight smile on Sachi's face as she speaks. I'm pretty confident she's speaking with complete honesty. Still, at the moment, would seem to suggest the possibility of further developments. Sachi's thoughts are still beyond my understanding. But it seems clear that her opinion of me has undergone a subtle change of some sort. Kamine-san, do you have a moment? Certainly. If you don't mind, I have a little favor to... Please come back after you fix that habit of baby talking to your pets. Huh? But why would Kamine-san say something like that? Did I do something to her? Something about dying rabbits. You might assume that means you should be petting your bunnies at all times, but in fact, excessive contact can stress their nerves badly enough to inspire escape attempts. Moderation is the rule in our interactions with other creatures. Oh, so this is going to be a chapter about Yumiko, I see. I'll save it for next stream, though. Good night, everyone.